Hey guys, today's case is sad, tragic. 11-year-old Gannon Stauch goes missing from his Colorado Springs home. Last person he's seen with, stepmom. Found 1,300 miles away under a bridge in Florida. Stuffed in a suitcase. Who do you think did it? Stay tuned, find out. Hey!
Hey!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our channel, Two Peas and a Crime Pod.
Episode 40.
Wah, 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 wah.
Lordy, Lordy, we're on 40.
Hell yeah. We got here. We did the damn thing. What's up, everybody? How are you guys? What's new with you guys? Tell us in the comments. Tell us something about your life. Tell us a fun fact about your life. Some current events. We'll write back. We look forward to it. Hopefully you're already a subscriber and we're old friends. And we're just catching up. But if you're new to this channel, you should subscribe. And then we can be new friends who become old friends.
We just like to say we really appreciate our subscribers and the regular people that tune in. You guys are great, especially leaving comments for us, feedback, agreements, whatever. We read all that and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you. You have stayed faithful to us and you really help grow our podcast and we appreciate it.
Very much so. Yes, we do. We appreciate you guys. New and old, we love you all. And we love doing this. And, you know, I was thinking, we call ourselves True Crime Podcast, which we are. You know, if it's an hour and a half long episode, we spend the majority of that time talking about crime. But we do love a sidewinder. We do love a side quest, and we do love a little chitty chat. And I was thinking, I was looking at some other podcasts, and people who just talk, like talk show podcast kind of a situation about life and like things in general and themselves. They call it like social commentary. Or they have names for those too. Like Lou would be hashtag podcast, hashtag true crime.
Okay.
They would be hashtag social commentary.
Gotcha.
And ours is a little bit of that too, but that's how we like it. We like to lighten the mood and not be only about crime.
It is hard to talk about this stuff. We're doing 3 cases a week. I have to research 3 cases. I have to build a script on 3 cases. Then at the same time, we record 3 cases and I have to edit the recorded.
So she's just listening to a lot
over and
terrible
over
details over and over again.
It's nice to hear a little funny story while I'm editing, just to break up the monotony of how terrible this stuff is.
Yes. So if you guys don't like the chit chat, you can fast forward. You can strip right to where we start talking about the case. But I like the chit chat because, you know, a part of why we both liked this and started doing it to begin with is that we love the psychology behind it, the sociology behind it, the how did we get here to this very fucked up place. You know, we love trying to put ourselves in the shoes of the person that's not rational to track their next steps. And like we've talked a lot about FBI profilers and how trying to understand something that's so outside the realm of normalcy is how we've built profiles that help us catch these kinds of people sooner.
Yeah, it's true.
And prevent, you know, things like this from happening. And so, you know, we love the psychology of it. And I think a part of us talking about our day-to-day lives is helping us, you know, keep it personal and reflect on our own psychology a little bit, you know, like the own ins and outs of our lives a little bit. And
sometimes we're just being
sometimes
fun.
We're just goofy girls because that's who we are. And we're not out here killing anybody because we're too goofy.
That's right.
Yeah, this podcast is just a testament to the fact that we couldn't get away with doing any crimes because we're too silly.
If you haven't checked out our playlist I made a playlist called Funny Shorts of all of the shorts I've made that were the funny things in our videos. And I listened to that the other day and laughed out loud.
She was like, I almost wrecked my car listening to our shorts the other day.
It was so flippin' funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm, first of all, never going to be a part of something that's not funny.
No.
So I'm sorry. You want me to do a true crime podcast? I'm going to crack a little jokey joke. Sorry, your kid got killed. I'm going to be making jokes. Not about that, but in general, hand in hand, simultaneously. Sorry. So when mom was like, I want you to do this, I was like, okay, but you know what you're signing up for. And she was like, yes, absolutely.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, so wouldn't have it any other way.
So yes. So we hope that our followers, like, if at first you're like, why are you just bullshitting and not talking about the case? Well, we're not like what you're used to. We're not your every other podcast that just jumps right into the crime. And we like to break it up with life, because I would assume that you followers and you listeners also have a life that doesn't consist of crime. And we say a lot of really relatable things. And then we tell you about some crime.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fucking relatable.
I agree.
So, yeah, we gotta break it up somehow. Otherwise, I'd just be crying. So, yeah, some of these get pretty dark and pretty hard to wrap your head around. I gotta bring it back to my silly goose reality every once in a while.
So I forgot to tell you about my Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
We had Valentine's Day last week, and I planned a fun day for me and my husband. Just a fun thing, not a whole day, because I had to work that night, but it was a fun event, and I've never done it before. So,
what'd you guys do?
Here in Ohio and in Canton, we have the President McKinley Monument, and it's a really beautiful monument. I'll post pictures of it, but alongside there's a museum that's
museum is so much fun. Yes.
It is cool. It's got dinosaurs that are really cool. It has aquatic life and snakes. And
did you guys go to the museum?
We went to the museum.
Have they updated it at all? Or is it like it was when we went when I was little?
There's some updates. There's like a whole new section off to the left that I don't think was there before. They still have the room, the McKinley room, and then they have the town. You can walk through an actual
the town's so fun. There's like old-timey stores, and there's like an old-timey
from like the 1800s.
There's like what a fire department used to look like, and an old-fashioned fire truck. But it has a pole. You can slide down the pole and you get blisters on your hands, and then they smell like iron. It's really fun.
They've got a train. It's a whole room dedicated to
a model train.
A model train with it has like all of the towns that are next to Canton. So there's Maslin and
Louisville.
Yeah, just like all the towns. And it's a fun place to go. But what we went for and what was the Valentine-y thing about it, they had a special show in the planetarium for the constellations. So they have a little planetarium. It's like a mini. It's only about as big as this room that we're recording in. And then there's a dome ceiling and all the lights go out and you can see the night sky as it would appear. And you sit in a circle and the seats lean back. And then somebody talks about the constellations and uses a pointer to point them out, and it was so much fun, and we just held hands under the stars for Valentine's Day.
That was very romantic. That is cute.
This year is our 25th wedding anniversary, so I wanted to do something special for Valentine's.
That was really unique and romantic. How cute.
Thank you. And then we went.
I want to go. I've been saying I want to take the kids to the museum.
Oh, they would love it.
In years, the last time we went, Aubrey was 3.
Oh, it's been
And
quite a while
so
then.
12 years ago was the last time I was there.
I mean, if it's been that long, everything's going to seem new anyways, because it did to me, because it's been about that long since I've been.
I don't think you know how my brain works. I will
Okay.
walk in and be like, this is the same, this is the same, this is the same, this is new, this is the same.
Didn't they used to have like a pendulum thing?
Yes, in the middle, and it knocked down the little wood tiles.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like right when you first walked in, it was roped off, and there was this big pendulum with just like a little brass. It was a big brass ball,
it was a
but
really
at the bottom,
cool thing.
it came to like a fine point, and around like a compass rose, there was little wooden dowel rods that were cut, and they stacked them every day. They would restack them on these little specific points, and then they would start it, and it would go throughout the whole day, and it would knock one down every once in a while, and it would line up with like the not hours, because obviously there was more than 12
I wonder
of
why
them,
they
but
took
like,
that down.
I don't know. It was pretty fucking played out, obviously, because of how much I can remember it. It was there for a while.
It was just cool though. But
it was, because when you go up the stairs, you could see it from above. And yeah, when I was really little, the rooms to the left was not open.
Okay.
And then the older I got, when I was an adult and I went, the room to the left was open, and it walked through modern history.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very fucking modern. It was like the 90s. And it showed like the Timken brake pads, and there was like a thing about the Hoover plant and the Timken plant.
They got the watch, the Whistler, Duberhampton. That's the one.
So like local businesses that were really big and or still are really big. Timken's obviously still open, although some of their stuff is outsourced. But yeah, Duberhampton was a watch company that was
Timken is gone.
Started.
It's Metallus now.
Is it not Timken at all anymore?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
it's Metallus.
So yeah, so they talked about all those local companies that were, internationally known. And
but Chris loved it. He loves a little excursion. I could have taken him to look at farm cows, and he'd have been like, "This is so much fun." His life is just work, work, work. So any little thing, he's easy to please. Is fun for him, but I think he really enjoyed it. And
yeah, if you come to Canton, we have the Football Hall of Fame, which I've lived here my entire life and never been to. It's supposed to be cool too, and I love football, and I've still never fucking gone. I think if you live in Canton and have a Canton address on your license, you can like go for free, and I've still never fucking gone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I should do that sometime. If you're ever in Canton, you can do that. But then not far from that is the McKinley Monument that Mom was talking about, and it is really cool. The monument itself is awesome. You used to be able to go inside. I don't know if the doors are still open.
Yeah, in the summertime.
Are they open in the summer?
Mm-hmm.
You used to be able to go inside the mausoleum. It's essentially the fucking mausoleum where the president and his wife are buried. But from the outside, it's just a cool little...
The whole park system. Monument. There's like a set of like 3 park systems that the monument sits on. And you can drive through, but each little separate system.
Because the garden center is in the other system.
Has a garden center. It's really
one down.
Cool to go to and take kids to, and
it's fun to go to during the day. During the evening, I wouldn't suggest going there. At night when the lights are off, a lot of stuff that ends up in the newspaper activity goes on there in the evening. Not exactly a place to be, but during the day, totally fine.
Absolutely. Anyways, after that, we went to Aladdin's.
Ooh,
and
Mediterranean food.
It's our favorite. We love hummus and kibbe. Oh my gosh. So like I said, it was Valentine's Day, and it was only like, I'd say 1:00, maybe 12:30. And there was no parking spaces. We had to park behind the restaurant in the parking lot of the big shopping center.
Packed, or is it because...
No, I mean, Aladdin's was packed, but we got seated immediately.
Oh, well, there's a lot of shit.
There's a lot of restaurants there, and people were going to like the big ritzy, like what's that one called? The Longhorn? Like Longhorn Steakhouse is right there. And
yeah. I'm trying to think, what is there? There's an Einstein Brothers Bagels close by. That probably wasn't booming at 1:00 on Valentine's, though.
Right.
I think there's a Men's Warehouse.
Yeah. But
in that parking lot,
it wasn't booming either. But all the parking spaces were taken. Yeah, the Cracked Egg and a Starbucks. But we had to park behind in the parking lot that's for like the big
Best Buy,
and Giant Eagle, and then we had to walk around to get into Aladdin's, and we got a lot of exercise that day because we walked around the whole thing, and then we had to walk to our
Got all your
restaurant.
steps in.
But we had hummus and kibbe and a vegetable plate, and we did good. It's still on our diet.
Yeah.
You just have to have, portion control. We just got a small hummus.
A lot of stuff on that menu is very healthy. It's all fresh. Aladdin's is all fresh made as well. All fresh ingredients. A lot of vegetable base.
It is delicious. It's so flavorful. But then, as we're leaving,
baklava.
They have baklava.
Yep, I knew that was coming.
I bought the big box. It's like this big.
You couldn't just do one?
And ate it all. Because
just have the
I couldn't just have one. I was like, you know what? It's Valentine's. I'm splurging.
You should have called me.
And you know what I did?
You should try orgasms, Kelly.
I gained 4 pounds that week because I ate all the baklava, and then we had a family dinner on Monday, and I ate.
It's Valentine's, and she treats herself to a box full of baklava. You could have made your O face. Oh, and burnt calories. You fucked up on Valentine's Day.
We've been together 25 years. We're interested in other things.
You have anniversary, Valentine's Day, and birthdays. Granted, Valentine's Day and your anniversary fall pretty close. That's probably exhausting, but they're like a month apart. You've got a month to recoup.
We want to go have some delicious food and hold hands, and, it's not all about jumping our bones.
Right. Boy, I can't wait to be 25 years married someday.
I am not complaining. It's nice.
I'm just teasing you, Mama.
We're just comfortable with each other. We're just good friends, and we hang out, and no pressure. And we came home and we took a nap. That was good. Magical.
That does sound really nice. I would have gladly taken a nap with somebody for Valentine's Day. If they were like, I got a date planned, and I show up and there's just a pillow and a blankie. Fuck yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See? Been like, and when you're together 25 years,
finished.
There's none of that pressure. You just are like, you want to take a nap? Hell yeah.
I get that.
Okay. So, see?
But then when we wake up, wakey.
Oh.
Just kidding. I don't know what's gotten into
me. I hear 36. It's time for dicks.
36, ready for dicks. You damn right. I'm not 36 yet. I have like the whole fucking year before I turn 36, but anyways, what's the story today, Mama? What's the case?
Oh, it's a sad one, and it's been well covered. They're always sad, but this one is so sad. I always say that it's a sad one. It's a disturbing one. It's senseless. It's horrifying.
They all are.
You have probably heard of this, and if you don't know the names, once I start talking, it'll be like the last case. You'll be like, oh,
I remember this. Yeah.
So this is the murder of Gannon Stauch. It's Colorado Springs, 11-year-old boy.
Not ringing a bell.
Okay. When I get into it, it will.
Okay.
Viewer discretion. This is about the murder of Gannon Koch. I'm sorry. Viewer discretion.
Who is it about? What's the poor victim's name?
The murder of Gannon Stauch.
Stauch.
So if you don't want to hear about that, then turn the channel.
If you don't want to hear about child murder, get the fuck out.
Okay. Consider yourself warned. An 11-year-old boy disappears from his Colorado Springs home. His stepmother says he walked to a friend's house and never came back, but surveillance video shows him leaving in her truck. Then, weeks later, more than 1,300 miles away, a suitcase is found under a bridge in Florida.
God damn.
You can only imagine what's in the suitcase.
What's in the suitcase?
Yeah, this case is disturbing. This is the murder of Gannon Stauch.
Wow, really went to great lengths to make sure. Colorado Springs, Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess she thought the more distance, the less she would be tied to it, because it's all about the stepmother. when we're talking about evil stepmothers,
I'll take the cake.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but if you avoid toll roads and you don't take a cell phone and you don't have like GPS turned on in your car, it makes sense to drive far away because then your phone just shows you were home the whole time, you know. And but you said they had security cameras, so that was pretty fucking stupid. Um,
I didn't say that.
yeah, it was the first thing you said.
Oh, surveillance and video show him leaving in her truck.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, the house. Yeah.
Yes. So, yikes, though. What a stupid
Anyways,
lie.
yeah, I just want to make a comment about step parents because all children are not meant to be lovable to all people, or vice versa. All people don't find all children lovable.
It's true.
Parents, if they're at all, normal, loving parents, will find their children to be lovable.
But if you're being objective, you can say, like, my kids can be pretty fucking annoying and they can be devious little shitheads.
Yeah, I guarantee there's somebody out there that just wants to wring your kid's neck. And you're like, oh, but
not
isn't he so
everybody
cute?
finds your angel, your sweet little angel, precious.
Anyways, you should definitely figure out if you divorce that child's parent, when you're looking for the next step parent to marry, you should definitely figure out if this person is somebody that's going to like your children and give it some time.
You're
and
not just finding a husband or a wife anymore.
this
You're
is
finding a parent for your children. Even if this person wants to be totally hands off and you think it's going to be totally hands off, this is a grown adult that's going to live in the same house as your children and have to interact with them and share space with them.
And that interaction matters to the child.
It should matter to you that it matters to the child.
It should matter to you. But, unfortunately, some people are not going to love their stepchildren. A lot of people do. I had a great stepdad, loved me and, played games with me and cared about me and was nurturing, there for me. But not everybody gets that. Not every step parent is like that. And it's unfortunate. But before I even get into this, I just want to say,
being a parent in general is hard, overstimulating, demanding, and oftentimes very thankless, and you don't, I would hope nobody had kids for a fucking pat on the back ever. But it would seem that some people do, the way they fucking act. But that's how it feels when you're a parent, when that's your child. When it's someone else's child, there's this psychological thing that happens where it feels even more thankless and it feels even more annoying because something happens in your brain where you're like, maybe this child responded that way because they're not really mine. Maybe they're acting this way because it's not my blood. You know, there's this, you kind of play like mental games. Like, is this so fucking hard and demanding and, you know, uh, um, tough because they're not really mine? No. That's just what having kids is. That's what raising tiny humans and teaching them how to respond and react and function and think and behave. That's what it is. It's a full-time job. Um yeah, I can say that I've definitely dated people that as far as a partner for me, sign me up. Marry them tomorrow. No qualms. Treated me great. Awesome. Awesome partner to me. But did not know how to interact with my children and oftentimes seemed annoyed or put off by having to. Or as long as everything was good, they were fine. But then when there was like times where things were stressful or it wasn't good or the kids were having a rough day, fucking miserable. Had no idea how to act and respond.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I dumped those people. Like, because it's not just about me. I can ultimately take care of myself. If I'm inviting someone into my house, I need it to work with all of the people in the house and not just me. Because making me happy only will last as long until I see you being shitty to my kid. And then all my happiness from all the pampering is gone because now I'm mad that you're treating my kid shitty or handling something shitty.
Right, right.
Or that you've hurt my child's feeling or made them feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, being a step parent is not easy. It's not. Being a parent is not easy. I think that people think that it's so different, and it's not.
You have to have a mindset to be a step parent, to say to yourself, I'm going to consider this a relationship just like the relationship with my husband. In other words, I am going to build this. I am going to be committed to
I'm
this
going to foster
relationship.
this. I'm going to work at this. I'm going to treat it like it's precious.
Yes.
And so, like, if your husband does something stupid, but you really love him, you're like, okay, honey, well, next time can we do it this way? Instead of rolling your eyes and going like, are you dumb? Why would you do it that way? You know, there's certain ways that you would talk to your friends or your spouse that you then lose when it's a child, whether it be because you're just fucking annoyed or because you think that you can condescend to children and that's okay. Um, that relationship with any child, especially if it's the one living in your home with you, should treat children well.
Yeah.
You should be patient and speak kindly to the children around you because what you're modeling to them is what they will then go out into the world and do. So if you model being a condescending bitch, guess what you're teaching those children? You're not teaching them how to have a back and forth and talk about things in a mature and reasonable way. You're teaching them how to be a fucking bitch.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So anytime we ever have to talk about step parents, it's always, yeah, we don't try to villainize all step parents, but all too often what we see is step parents not stepping up. And they ultimately fell in love with that spouse, but not necessarily with the idea of being a parent.
Yeah.
And it always is just a bother to them instead
Right.
of what being any kind of parent should be, whether it's biological or adoptive or step or whatever. It should be a blessing to you. It should
Yeah.
be enriching your lives and teaching you and making you a better person and giving you this opportunity to foster the growth of a small individual. Like it should be a privilege, and that's how you should treat it.
Yeah.
Not like a bother, not like you know, and like I said, being a parent is over. Believe me, I'm the first one to say I get overstimulated, and I've told mom before in private, like, God, Lindsay was on one last night, and I wanted to be like, would you shut the fuck up? Enough. Like being a parent, like, oh, I get there. I'm not above it. The difference is that I just think it, but I don't say that. And sometimes I literally have to remove myself from the situation and breathe for a second before I respond to my child. Sometimes in real time, I can have the thought in my head, like, I don't fucking choke you out right now, but I am speaking in a reasonable and nice tone still. But being a parent is taxing.
You can
Treat
lose
it
your
like it
shit.
matters.
Yeah.
Treat it when you're at work talking to your boss. Do you just say whatever the fuck you want? Because I know your boss is probably a worthless fuck who deserves to be told. But do you though? No, because you wouldn't have a job if you kept talking that way. So,
If you can restrain yourself with a non-family member that's just a boss, you can restrain yourself with your family members.
yeah. And if you married this person and you have respect and love for them and you wanted to commit yourself to them, respect their children.
Right.
I'm sure their children are important to them. And how you treat them is a reflection of how you feel about your spouse.
I think so.
Or it should be, unless you're both pieces of shit. And we know some of those people too. That exists too. They're just neither one of them give a fuck about their kids.
Let's talk about Gannon.
Tell me more about Gannon Stauch, you said?
Yes, Stauch. He was 11 years old and he lived in Lorson Ranch area, in the Lorson Ranch area of Colorado Springs. He lived with his father, Albert Stauch, and his stepmother, Letitia Stauch. Also living in the house is his younger sister, not named, to protect her privacy, and an older half sister that was Letitia's from another marriage.
Okay.
So,
is the younger one Letitia's and
no,
dad's, or it's
no.
his full sibling
Letitia did not have any
with him, with the
children
dad?
with Al.
Al. Okay.
Right. So, Gannon was described by family as gentle, loving, polite, sensitive, and also into video games and typical preteen interests. We have an 11-year-old in our family that's a boy, and he definitely into all that and
Yep.
definitely has all those characteristics. So
Yep,
we can
Harvey's
totally relate.
My son's only 8, and that's exactly how I would describe him. Just gentle and sweet. And my daughter's not. She's feisty and she'll fucking fight you, and she will just pop right off. She got it honest. But my son is like, they're like each the two wolves that live within me, the sassy bitch one and the sweet, soft, just gushy, ridiculous one. Got Each one got passed down.
Right,
And
right.
Harvey got the soft one, and Lindsay got the bitch one.
Which I think that's a perfect characteristic for each of them.
But Gannon sounds very much like my son.
Yes. Well, Gannon's father was active in the National Guard. At the time of Gannon's disappearance, his father was away at training, and Letitia was the only adult home with him. So let's talk about his father. Albert Stauch was Gannon's biological father. He was previously married to Gannon's mother. Her name was Landon Dreiling. They had 2 children together, Gannon and his younger sister, and they divorced prior to 2020. Then he later married Letitia Stauch, and Albert and Letitia have no biological children together, but she did have a daughter from a previous relationship who lived in their home. And she was older. She was 17. So Albert served in the U.S. Army and was also active in the Colorado National Guard. At the time of Gannon's disappearance, he was away for National Guard training. And during the investigation, he publicly pleaded for Gannon's safe return early in the search. After Gannon's remains were found, he cooperated with law enforcement 100%. Letitia was Gannon's stepmother. They married in 2015, and they had been married about 5 years at the time of Gannon's death in 2020. She had worked in education, which is really scary. Public records show she held positions as a teacher and or a substitute teacher in various districts. Her employment history includes multiple relocations due to Albert's military assignments. But at the time of Gannon's disappearance, she was living in the Colorado Springs home, and she was the primary adult in the home while Albert was away. During trial testimony and interviews, it came out that the marriage had experienced strain. There were tensions regarding discipline and household roles. That's usually a big one for adults when one adult thinks you should raise a child this way and the other one thinks you should raise them that way. And like I said, it's harder if you're a step parent because you already feel like you maybe don't have much say so.
Yeah.
And it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating.
It's frustrating because you'll be told things like, well, you're not really the parent. Let that come from his, the mother and the father. Let that come from the real parents. And, you're just here to assist. Meanwhile, you're not just here to assist with the laundry and the cleaning and the homework and what if he vomits, and like you still get to do all the really hard dirty work like a full-blown parent. But then when it comes to major decision makings, or there's a concert and there's only so many tickets, well, the real parents and the real family is going to get to come over you. And it starts to, like I said, when I said thankless, it starts to feel very much like, oh, okay, so I'm a maid, but I don't get to make any decisions, and it can be hard if you're not mature enough to respect the fact that you're not the biological parent, and especially if their biological parents are still around and can be making those decisions.
Right.
You have to be mature enough to go like, I gotta know my place.
Okay, I'll step down in regards to that.
Like, that's your say. Okay. And it can be hard to do. Most people aren't mature enough to do that. Or maybe they are for a while, but every once in a while everybody has a day where you're like, fuck this. Like, but, and again, I'm not sticking up for her, but in regards to what you said
just
about
to say
having
how hard it is.
different parent style, even when you get married, if you and your husband knew, like, we got married knowing that we wanted kids someday, most people have that talk. Did you have a talk about whether you would spank or not? Did you have a talk about how you would speak to your children, or how involved your in-laws would be allowed to be, or what kind of rules you would, like, did all these things that probably you don't really know how your spouse feels until you've already had this child together, and now you're finding out that,
right.
That's a lot of problems come from that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even just a step parent thing in general.
No. So let's find out. The night before his disappearance was January 26th. And Letitia later claimed Gannon had spilled candle wax on the carpet. And he was upset about getting into trouble. He was emotional about it. At one point, there was an audio recording that surfaced of a child crying in the background of a recording inside the home. The recording was made on Letitia Stauch's phone, and it captured an interaction between her and Gannon. What could be heard was, in the recording, a child identified as Gannon can be heard crying, and he appears distressed and apologetic. Letitia can be heard speaking to him. She references the candle wax spill on the carpet. At points in the audio, Gannon is heard saying he is sorry. He appears afraid and emotionally upset, and Letitia's tone shifts between confrontational and controlling. The recording was widely interpreted by the public as disturbing because it captured his emotional distress and it suggested escalating conflict inside the home.
As a kid being a kid.
And he spilled some candle wax on the carpet, which is, if you've ever done that.
Impossible. That's it.
Once it's there, it's there. You're never getting candle wax out of your carpet. You can get
some of it out, like with ice. If you get it cold enough, you could break it up, but
it's there.
If it was red and your carpet's white, you fucked. And yeah, kids do be doing shit like that all the time. I can't tell you how many things I've had broken or ruined, or my brand new couch has a spring broken in it already.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's life with kids, dude. You gotta love your kids more than you love your carpet. And that being said, you have to teach your kids responsibility. And like I told the kids, like I had to work really hard in order to buy us this new couch, and I want you to respect it. We need it to last, and I can't just go get us another. I have to teach them how to respect things and how to follow rules, but not ruin them emotionally,
right,
to do so, or make them feel like they are less important than the couch. We want them to learn how to respect property, but not feel second to. It's a balancing act.
It is. It takes
I could have beat their ass for breaking the couch.
It takes restraint, thoughtfulness, love.
But what patience good would that have done? Yeah. I could beat their ass and they just know mom's mad, but I need to teach them about why I'm upset and why it was disrespectful. Yeah, you can't
have to take a little time.
You can't love stuff more than your kids.
No.
And that doesn't just mean like it's a free for all, guys, because I love you the most. So go and wreck everything. Like, no, not what I'm saying. But kids will be kids. Fuck, I ruined shit. I fucking spill candle wax and break shit and spill shit and burn holes in shit by accident with my wood burning tool in my bed. Oops. Burn a hole all the way through blanket, sheet, and into the mattress. And thank God I don't have Kelly in my house anymore to be like, what the fuck are you thinking? Because it was stupid. And I'm a grown-ass woman. So give your fucking kids some grace. Like, we all do dumb shit. No one is perfect, you know?
That's the truth. We'll get to the 27th then. The morning of the 27th, Gannon was home from school that day. Letitia said he was sick. Surveillance footage from the neighbors later showed Gannon walking to Letitia's truck mid-morning, and then the truck left the home. An important detail is that he appeared physically slow and subdued on the video. When the truck returned later, Gannon was not seen getting out. That afternoon, Letitia called 911 and she reported Gannon missing. She said he had gone to a friend's house and she said he never came home. So, of course, search efforts began right away.
Right.
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office launched a neighborhood canvass, ground searches, and volunteer mobilization. The community showed up in force, but investigators were already noticing problems. That was shifting stories. As detectives interviewed Letitia, her account changed. She claimed Gannon walked away. Someone may have abducted him. A sexual predator got him, or he may have been injured and left. But her timeline did not remain consistent, and investigators began examining physical evidence inside the home. So, yeah, she mentioned to them about the candle wax and said that he was upset about it. So, maybe upset about getting in trouble. And she tried to make it sound like he maybe just ran away
He ran away to a friend's house
and didn't come home. That was her original story. And then she just started coming up with different things because apparently she was panicking.
But if they said, when did he go to his friend's house? And you say, oh, it was around this time, and he never came back in your truck, your only explanation is, I dropped him off at the friend's on my way home, which is why he didn't get out of the truck.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, did he get abducted on his way home? The friends would have been like, yeah, he was definitely here because you dropped him off. Right? You know,
Exactly.
Like,
she didn't think it through.
It's a very quickly, it's not a good story. It's not a good alibi.
Exactly. So, when they did do an investigation inside the home, they found blood evidence in Gannon's bedroom and blood evidence in the garage. They did find damaged carpet and signs of cleaning. The blood volume was very significant. Then the digital evidence added more questions.
Blood loss was significant, but he was seen walking
Mm-hmm.
meekly, but still walking to the truck himself.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think was bleeding that could bleed that much?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. Odd. That's odd.
It is odd.
Like a nose, maybe?
Maybe.
Like hit him in the face and he's like bleeding. Make him go stand in the garage until he stops bleeding. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of how you would hurt somebody that they still walked out on their own accord. Because at first I thought like, oh, she killed him that night, and then waited the next day, and then I was like, no, you said that he walked out to the truck on his own.
On the footage. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Anyways, continue.
So authorities examined the cell phone location data as well as the vehicle GPS records and then internet activity. Her travel patterns did not match her explanations. So at this point, investigators began treating the case as a homicide.
Yeah, how long was she gone for?
I didn't look at that.
I'm going to look that up right now. Let's go to maps. You said Colorado Springs, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, search Colorado Springs.
Well, I mean, she was only gone for a little bit because she made the phone call to 911.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, how did he get in a fucking suitcase under a bridge in Florida?
Yeah, there's obviously something happened. And it, honestly, as we'll see later, they think maybe the older daughter, that was Letitia's daughter,
Yeah.
helped with the disposal.
So she was
So,
17. Yeah, because that's a fucking trek.
mhm.
That's not a quick, you left the house with him. That's you dumped him somewhere and somebody else did part 2 of.
Well, she later did leave. So
Okay.
there was time to drive there and do that. But there is something suspicious about the fact that he was seen walking to the car but didn't come home. Where was he? How did he get, this all happened later. Like, it's just, it's, it's confusing.
Okay. Well, keep telling it.
Okay.
Cuz my thing was like she drove off with him in the car and returned 24 hours later.
Yeah, no.
And then reported him missing the next day. Like in that amount of time, the little girl, where was she?
Right.
Like, so she left for an hour or something.
Yes.
Came back, he's not there anymore. So where did she leave him? Did she kill him and put him in a suitcase and then leave him somewhere?
And then move it.
And then go back and move it?
Mm-hmm.
Or did she have somebody else kill him? You know what I mean? All right. So I'm just.
So
keep going.
The question is, where was Letitia's daughter when all of this was going on? First of all, she was a teenager, about 17 years old. And based on trial testimony and reporting, she was living in the home with Letitia, Gannon, and Gannon's younger sister. And she was present at the home during the time that surrounded Gannon's disappearance.
Okay.
She was not charged with any crimes. Prosecutors did not allege that she participated in the killing, and she was not identified as a co-defendant. It was discussed that she assisted her mother during trial testimony at certain points after Gannon was reported missing, such as being present during travel.
Okay.
There was no finding by the jury that she committed homicide, and authorities focused the charges solely on Letitia.
Okay.
So then, same thing for the younger sister. She was there, very young child. Her identity has been protected. During the testimony, it was established that she was present. She was not accused of any wrongdoing and just treated as a child witness.
Guilty by association. Right.
Yeah. So, in February of 2020, Letitia traveled out of state, and then she eventually went to South Carolina. So
he's been missing for a little bit now.
Right.
And she reports him missing, and there's some initial searches, and they're not finding him, and they can't figure it out. And where's Gannon? And she's just like, I just can't deal with all this, and I just need to get out of town. And she packs the girls up and brings along
just
a
her
suitcase.
Just her daughter. Gannon's biological sister was at home with dad.
Oh, okay. So just her daughter, and she goes to get out of town.
Yes. And she went to eventually South Carolina. Prosecutors alleged that she had transported Gannon's body in her vehicle, crossing multiple state lines. So that was in February when she left.
Okay.
In March, on the 17th, a construction worker in Pace, Florida, discovered the suitcase under the bridge near Escambia Bay. Inside were Gannon's human remains, and it was a 1,300-mile distance between his home and where his body was found.
Pace, Florida.
The really disturbing part is the autopsy findings. He suffered blunt force trauma, sharp force injuries, and a gunshot wound.
Jesus Christ.
So somebody is pissed off about some candle wax.
So blunt force trauma, night of.
Bled a little bit in the house.
And then you said there
was sharp force trauma too, which could have been night of.
Sharp?
Yeah, like a
stab wound.
Like a stab wound.
Okay. I guess so, although I think it would have been more apparent on the video.
Not necessarily. He had different clothes on over top of it. That's why he was walking slowly and subdued, because he was in pain.
Could be. And then a gunshot wound. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, this woman does not like this boy at all, does not love him in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And she had enough. Something flipped the script.
Yeah.
In
Because
her.
as a teacher, you'd think that she's someone who genuinely likes kids, but that's not always true. I've
It's
definitely
not.
had teachers that I felt like didn't like kids.
Yeah, same here.
So, I think everybody gets into it thinking that they like kids, and then you find out, like, I do not fucking like kids.
Yeah.
Kids suck.
Right.
I don't get paid enough for this. Yeah, just I don't know.
It's so sad. Imagine
You're
just
gonna
that
have to
11-year-old
keep going.
boy.
Did she cop to it? I need you to keep talking.
No, she didn't. Well, kind of. We'll get into it. So the injuries were multiple injuries inflicted in more than one manner, and the manner of death was homicide. There was medication in his system consistent with prescriptions that were accessible in the home. The injuries were described as severe. It was not a single impulsive act, and according to prosecutors, it was sustained violence.
Yeah, it wasn't like she pushed him and he fell and cracked his head, and that wasn't the intent. You're not accidentally stabbing someone, you're not accidentally shooting someone. The
Right.
blunt force trauma, I could see claiming as an accident. Maybe. But all of it?
Right. So, Letitia was located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She was arrested in March and extradited back to Colorado, where she was charged with first-degree murder of a child under 12, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with physical evidence, and then some additional related charges.
Yeah, abuse of a corpse, transporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she pled not guilty by reason of insanity. So when you asked me if she copped to it, sort of, but she said she was insane.
Okay. I'm just wondering if she says, I'm the one that stabbed him, I'm the one that pulled the trigger. Because I'm still wondering if she dropped him off somewhere to some shady fucking people she found online or something and had them do the dirty work, and then she came and picked up the suitcase. You know what I mean? Like, still culpable, but like maybe not the one who still going to jail for premeditated murder.
So she basically copped to having done it, but saying she was temporarily insane.
Okay.
So where was Gannon's mother, Landon Drayling, or Dreiling? I don't know. I never know the E-I-L-I-N-G. It's D-R-E-I-L-I-N-G. Dreiling.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. She was living out of state. When Gannon was reported missing, she immediately came to Colorado and participated in search efforts. She did give emotional public statements pleading for his safe return. And then after his body was found, she continued speaking publicly about Gannon. She attended all the trial proceedings and delivered a victim impact statement at sentencing. So the trial began in 2023. The courtroom heard weeks of testimony, and the defense's argument was that Letitia suffered from severe mental illness. She experienced dissociative identity disorder, and she was not legally sane at the time.
She completely disassociated and drove her car to another location and killed this kid and had no idea what she was doing.
Right.
Okay.
So the prosecution argued...
Were you disassociated that whole time you were riding around with his fucking suitcase, with his body in a suitcase in your car? Did you never open that up and went like, oh my God?
Right. That's what the prosecution said. Her actions were deliberate. She cleaned up evidence and she transported the body.
Yeah. And then she tried to say he was kidnapped or
Yeah, she misled
purposely
investigators.
misled.
She staged explanations.
I was looking up Pace, Florida still. I was trying to, is that
Oh,
what you said?
okay.
PACE?
Yep.
Okay. It looks like it's on like that, you know how Florida's shaped like this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like here.
Oh, okay.
So
So up close to like
to
Georgia.
the border of the, yeah, it's kind of under it's not under Georgia, it's under Alabama.
Okay.
But yeah, like a shoot over to South Carolina then.
Okay. So during the trial, jurors heard from forensic pathologists, blood pattern analysts, digital forensic experts, law enforcement, and multiple psychiatric experts. The key legal question was, did she know right from wrong at the time? Because Colorado's insanity standard required the jury to decide whether she was incapable of distinguishing moral and legal right from wrong.
Right.
Prosecution experts testified that she demonstrated awareness. She took steps to conceal the crime. She fabricated explanations. Whereas the defense presented mental health testimony claiming severe psychological disorders.
Yeah, you're pretty much gonna, in order to get that to work, you're pretty much gonna have to, like, wherever you killed him, just walk around in the bloody clothes and have someone come home and be like, what the fuck? And be like, what?
Right.
Like, you did nothing to conceal it. You're at, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're,
Or have a history of insanity like the mother that drowned her 4 or 5 kids.
yes.
She got the temporary insanity plea and it went through.
Because she had
But she
been
had
struggling.
documented
Yeah.
history of being in and out of the office, the hospital, the medication,
Of having severe postpartum
depression.
and yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this woman had none of that.
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden, magically, she's got dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, when you can think like, I need to get rid of evidence, I need to get evidence as far away from me as possible, as to the point of putting it in another fucking state, driving around with the evidence in your car.
Yeah.
With your daughter in the car.
Right. Well, the jury deliberated, and on May 8th of 2023, they found Letitia Stauch guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of child abuse resulting in death, and guilty on all the additional related charges. The insanity defense was rejected completely.
Bitch, even if you are crazy, I don't need people to just dissociate and decide to kill kids out on the street. You can go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, either way, bitch.
So she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole and additional consecutive years on the other counts. She'll spend the rest of her life in jail. Gannon's father later spoke publicly, urging parents to hug your children, tell them you love them, and never take time for granted.
He just goes away and trusts this woman to take care of him.
Yeah, that's what I wonder is, were there any red flags before that day? Had she been like not really giving a crap about Gannon the whole time? Or was this just something she was alone with him and she snapped? Had it been festering inside of her that he was irritating her, and then
right, were
the
there
dad
any
wasn't?
Signs that she was annoyed,
Yeah,
or severely irritated with this child before that day?
well, I
not
mean,
not to victim blame the dad, not to
there were signs that she was upset about the disciplining.
Yeah,
they had disputes about that, so that could be a red flag. But no, I don't think
nobody thinks that that's going to escalate to that.
Right.
Yeah, but
and boy, did it escalate.
Yeah.
I mean, she went berserk. She really had it in for this kid.
Yeah.
It was way overkill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like it went on all night.
Right. That poor kid. So I told you this case was going to be a hard one. It was not happy ending.
At least this one, the fucking guilty party went to jail. Unlike the last couple we've done.
That's true.
Which were unsolved or... Well, they were, unsolved, so...
Right.
Ugh.
But if you stuck around this long, we'd like to thank you again. And If you're enjoying the podcast, please don't forget to subscribe. Stick around for our next episode next time. It's going to be a good one, and I got some good stuff planned. We drop our episodes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking around, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Adios.